Insights now has its own Roku channel. Insights itself is a dream maker providing a platform for content creators. Go with Insights Roku channel into 91 million homes. We are strengthening our programs that will continue to educate, entertain, and enlighten our viewers. We will still feature youth sports, Mick and Rick, Insights Magazine, Remember the Legends, and much more. Stay tuned for our creative content. Appreciate it. This is the Mick and Rick Show, sponsored by Insights, a subdivision of Mac 4 Enterprises. I'm your host, Mickey Clayton, the coach, with my co-host, your reporter's favorite rapping reporter, Rick Brown. Welcome, Rick.
Give it up, 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 give it up. Get up for the Rattlers. Everybody get up.
Whoa.
What's happening, coach?
Man, it's your world. I'm just here trying to survive it day to day. That's all I can do.
Hey. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Man, you see me with my Nike hat.
Uh-huh.
My Nike Insights hat. Like, I see with your Nike hat on. I see you big time.
Loving it. That's what we're talking about.
You are who you are, which is the legend.
And as my daddy always said, yeah, boy, you're a legend in your own mind, I tell you. I said, but hey, if it doesn't come from my mind, no one else is going to believe it. It's got to come here first.
I see. I like that shirt you got there, man.
Let me get it.
I got one on too. Long sleeve Kappa shirt. I got you, brother. I got you. Oh, I got a comment here, and they sent a message to you. Let me read it verbatim.
Okay, let me get ready for this one.
Nice touch with the summaries of game scores. Tell Rick the phrase is, quote, objectivity in sportscasting, end of quote. Not like or dislike for a team. Tell him also that the kitchen is the only kitchen that did not come with a, quote, sink, end of quote. That is why he never gave up when he experienced hard times. In other words, sinking into despair like so many others.
I like that.
I like that too,
without
Rick.
a sink.
Dick.
Without a sink.
Rick, that was pretty deep there.
That was. I had to. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you had to kind of like that one. I was wondering where he was going with it, and then I was like, wow, that was pretty deep. And somebody else said, hi, Mickey, I watched the show, really enjoyed it. Keep it going. Somebody else's comment was, I learned something new every time I watch that show. And somebody else
I appreciate that.
It's getting better. Say, we like your show. Not that we didn't like it before. Said, but they kept trying to find the right word. They said, maybe more mainstream. And I said, I take that as a compliment, though we don't really care to be mainstream. Our thing is you can get mainstream on ESPN, Fox Sports, and everybody else who now have started doing podcasts after we've started doing ours. But I like the analogy better from my guy at Jank Barbecue. He said, y'all are like my uncle sitting around at the barbecue chopping it up. And I said, you know what? That's exactly what our intent is. That's the image we're trying to roll with. Rick?
Indeed, indeed, Coach. And I really appreciate the person who said they learn something every time they watch the show, and that's important because we can clown around and we can joke around and all, but we try to give you something serious as well, and that's important to me, and I know it's important to you as well that we're entertaining, but at the same time informative. So, thank you very much. Thank you for all the viewers and people who respond. I know many people view and don't write anything or comment, but we appreciate all the comments as well, um, even from Dallas fans.
I got you. Special shout out to the family. You know, last week was a decent week, but we didn't make it through a week. Lost my brother-in-law, uh, my wife's brother, uh, Hosha Baltman. Everybody knew him as Tiny. He worked on campus and from Monticello. And, we have his funeral this coming Saturday, and it's been kind of a rough week for the family. So um, we got Eugene Granger coming up, and I need him to relay a message to his mom because that's one of her classmates. And I was supposed to call his mom and tell her, but got so busy and hadn't done so. But I know that Gina passed that on to his mom because they were all classmates over there. So they were classmates all the way back in elementary school, middle school. They like know each other forever. That's why when we talk about Coach Granger, we tell him we family. You know, our family's known each other for years. So, you know, that's kind of my little brother there. So prayers to the family, and you know,
Yes.
we'll get through it again. And condolences out to my wife and the things that we have to do to get back on the right track and regroup, you know, and regroup on that. We have people are beginning to like your other show from your Dallas guy.
Oh,
From your Dallas guy.
T Lamps.
Yeah, from your Dallas guy, you know, he's a little special.
Yes, yes.
He,
Lamps is
he,
pretty special.
yeah, he is that.
Welcome to Todd Talking, NFL Week 6 in review. Omaha. 4 teams on bye this week, so that leaves only 14 games. And out of those 14 games, 7 underdogs win. What kind of league do we have going on here? Let me hurry up with this so we can get to the pick segment. Last Thursday in Chicago, another boring game. Washington visited Chicago, the game that no one wanted to win. Chicago had 11 plays inside the 5-yard line and came away with 0 points. The Bears muffed a punt late and gifted the game to the Commanders 12-7. Both teams are now 2-4. In one of those upsets, the Falcons get by the 49ers with relative ease, 28-14. Atlanta used a tough defense to shut down the shorthanded 49er team. The Falcons also rushed for 168 yards as a team, and both teams are now 3-3. In a battle of two teams that are going in different directions, the Browns, after 2 close losses, get walloped by Bailey Zappi and the Patriots and drop their third in a row, losing 38-15. The Patriots win their second in a row and move to 3-3. The Browns are 2-4. Good news for the Browns, though. Deshaun is in the building, and the division race is still close. New York Jets hand the struggling Packers their second loss in a row. No time to relax now. The Jets win their third in a row and move to 4-2. The Packers fall to 2-4. Good news for Green Bay, though. Commanders are next. In a game that will leave the Jags kicking themselves, Jacksonville gets out to a 21-13 lead, but get outscored 21-3 down the stretch and lose 34-22. They fall to 2-4. The Colts were led by Matt Ryan's 389 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Michael Pittman's 13 catches for 134 yards. The Colts win their third in a row and move to 3-2-1. In Miami, the Vikings continue to cruise along, led by Kirk Cousins' 2 touchdowns and Justin Jefferson's 107 yards. Dalvin Cook's 53-yard touchdown run sealed the game. And the Vikings win 26-24 for their fourth win in a row to go 5-1. The Dolphins lose their third in a row and drop to 3-3. In the losing cause, Teddy Two Gloves had 329 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Ty Hill had 12 catches for 177 yards. In a back-and-forth contest in New Orleans, the Bengals behind Joe Burrow's 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and Jamar Chase's 132 yards and 2 touchdowns outpaced New Orleans and win 30-26. The Bengals move to 3-3. The Saints lose their fourth out of 5 games and drop to 2-4. At MetLife Stadium, the Ravens blow a 10-point lead, something that they've done in all 3 of their losses. They give up 14 points in the last 6 minutes of the game and lose 24-20 to the Giants. The Ravens are 3-3 and the Giants are 4-1. In another upset, the Steelers lead the entire game and hold Tampa Bay to 18 points to win 20-18. Tommy Boy looks like he doesn't really want to be there. Guess he can't go home, though. The Steelers are 2-4. Tampa Bay is 3-3. Trubisky surfaces as the hero in this one. Tomlin teams just don't quit. In a good game in Kansas City, a championship caliber game, the Bills rally with a late 78-yard touchdown drive to win 24-20. Buffalo's now 5-1, Kansas City 4-2. Can anyone say rematch? Sunday night in Philly, Dallas falls behind 20-0. They battle back but come up short 26-17. First round to Philly. No statistical stars in this one. Philly remains undefeated and Dallas falls to 4-2. Elsewhere around the league, the Rams whip Carolina 24-10. Seattle cruises by Arizona 19-9. And the Chargers sneak by Denver on Monday night with a 19-16 victory in overtime. Just to retrack a little bit, last week, Davante Adams is leaving the field. A reporter jumps in front of Davante Adams and gets run over. And now the reporter wants to sue. Damn reporters.
Hey.
Next up, my man Earl the Entertainer with the high school report. See you next week. DGBD, don't get beat deep.
Oh. So you're taking shots at reporters now. Okay, Mr. Lampley. Okay, I see your cowboy. Your cowboy recap was a little short there, a little slim there, Mr. Lampley. And the Giants improved to 5-1. You know, they're above those Cowboys. So okay, you want for me? You want to jump on me? Come get me.
Yeah. He kind of got you. He kind of got you. Them damn reporters. He kind of got you, Rick. I'm just saying.
I see how it is. Everybody wants to shoot at the reporter. It's okay.
Everybody wants to shoot at the reporter.
Help me, Earl. Yes.
Greetings from an almost wintry evening in the capital city. Week 7 is in the books, and the teams are inching closer to a district championship. And I had a championship week myself, finishing 9-1. I was deserving of not being perfect. But we'll get.
What happened to Rick? Rick, what happened to Earl?
He got so excited over the week he had that, he had to take a break. He has to go get some water, get the pipes right for this upcoming week. I'm sure that's what it is.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah. I mean, 9-1. That's, especially for high school football. That's pretty daggone good. If I do say so. Good job, Earl. Good job.
Mick.
Don't tell him that.
And I had a championship week myself, finishing 9-1.
That's right.
And I was deserving of not being perfect. But we'll get to that later. As stated, some teams are salivating at the chance to win the district. And it began with the Ricketts Raiders. The Raiders prevailed over Lincoln in a showdown under the lights that smelled like victory in the air for the Raiders. They went down early after a turnover, But then a pick six turned it all around, and the Raiders didn't look back, defeating the Trojans 19-7. Congratulations to Coach Quentin Lewis as his team moves one game closer to the title. In other action, Leon, poor Leon, took another L, this time to Childs 34-6. Florida High flambéed Godby 51-7. Wakulla wasted Taylor 35-12. Jefferson was lost in the wilderness, falling to Wildwood 56-6. First Academy devastated FAMU DRS 44-6. And Gadsden County, they're getting beside themselves, now winning 2 in a row and massacring Mariana 39-0.
Break them
And
up.
their county counterparts, Monroe, were not outdone as they mashed Maclay 42-0. Over in South Georgia, Thomas clobbered Columbus 56-6. And I have to apologize to Coach Freeman over at Brooks. He gave me exactly what I deserved for picking against him. And he took Early County to the woodshed, 34-7 in front of their home crowd, knocking them from the ranks of the unbeaten. On the college front, FSU is playing better, but they just aren't ready and fell to Clemson 34-28. But stay patient, Seminole fans. And my FAMU Rattlers. Whew. Let me catch my breath. We aren't the cardiac kids. We're the triple bypass kids. But a win is a win is a win. And against a storied program at Grambling in the hole makes things better. But excuse me, Coach and Rick. Damn. Now, in this week's action, Rickards has a bye, and so does Godby, so the Cougars might get a victory. The action begins Thursday night as Childs takes on American Collegiate Academy, and I'll take the Timberwolves. Lincoln will take on Arnold, and I'll take the Trojans. It doesn't get any better for Leon as they take on Niceville. Of course I'm going to take Niceville. Florida High, they'll get another win, this time over Chiefland. Monroe will travel to Pensacola Catholic, and they don't stand a chance over there with those cheaters. I'll never forget 2015. Ooh, don't get me started. Jefferson County will take on Taylor County, and I'll take Jefferson. FAMU DRS will take on Maclay. I have to go with Maclay. Until all the FAMU players get the same color helmet, I can't pick them to win no game. And the game of the week will be an undefeated 8-0 North Florida Christian taking on a 7-1 Wakulla.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to have to take the War
game of the
Eagles.
week.
Just too much depth.
That's the game of the week.
Over in South Georgia, Thomasville will take on Doherty Thursday night, and I'll take the Bulldogs. Brooks will take on Irwin County. I will not make the same mistake. I'll take on Brooks. And Dr. Miller, your fighting syrup makers, they're going to take on Westover and will remain on the diabetes train. Come on, K-Ro. On the college front, Florida State and FAMU will have a deserved rest and recovery. See you next week, and happy homecoming, Rattlers.
We got to find out.
We have to get him on our game of the week. Our game of the week is Brooks County and Irwin County. He ought to know better than to get some Rattler. He should know better than that.
I know. He's right. He did deserve that L. I mean, it would have been perfect if he just would have done what he was supposed to do. And Coach, we got to find out what happened in 2015. I got to hear that story.
That you want to hear it too. I know what happened. You want to hear it though. But one of the things, a segue into it with Earl is the coverage of the high school boys basketball. Get ready to kick off. We both basketball guys. And with us today, we have a legend, and not in his own mind, but from a different time. We had Coach Eugene Granger, himself a superstar at Florida High, then went to Charleston Southern. He even scored double figures a few times. He's not like one of those guys like me, went to college and didn't get double figure scoring all 4 years combined. But he went out there and played, contributed, got the GBL going. has Maclay boys basketball. They're ready to go. Got one of the consensus top 5 players in the city returning. And we have the getting ready to start the Maclay boys basketball network on INSiightsROKU and insiightsYouTube. My friend, Coach Eugene Granger. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Coach, how are you doing? Rick, how are you?
Gino, what's happening, my man?
Always great to see you.
Always great to be seen and not viewed, my friend. Indeed.
Coach Clayton, how are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I hope you heard the message I wanted you to deliver to your mom.
Yes, sir.
And if you just
I will relay.
She'll know it's Tiny. She'll know exactly who that is. They people never even knew his real name. They called him Tiny Man ever since his mama brought him home in a shoebox. They called him Tiny Man.
Well, I'll relay. I'll be sure to do that.
Well, Coach, on a more positive note, I know you got to be excited about this upcoming season you have. I was just looking over your roster. Is Jaquay Randolph? He's on your roster this year?
No longer. He's moved on. He's moved on. But we have about 6 or 7 returning, seniors. So as far as having that experience on, since the time I've been at Maclay as the head basketball coach, this is probably our biggest senior class. And so a lot of these guys have known each other since they were in middle school and even elementary school, with the addition of a few other parts. But it's a very large senior group.
Well, Coach, I know, I was always a little partial to the young man you had on your JV team that shoots the ball so doggone well. You said, Coach, he's even better baseball player. But whenever you go in a gym, he playing against Ricker's JV, not intimidated, not scared. Every time he turns one loose, Rick, they standing up in the stands, everybody putting their hands up in the air. I said, who is this kid? Now, Rick, he's knocking them down. I'm like, fearless. I said, who is this kid? I said, wow.
We have a few guys that are, that 10th grade group. They're very talented. So we it's not about just one single year or one single season. It's just it's the way of the program to make sure that every year, we're developing younger players through the middle school program and all the way through. And, they, with that talent, they're still, we got, some high expectations with 11th and 12th graders. So the 10th graders got some big shoes to still fill. But they're, that competitiveness of the young guys learning from the older guys, that is, that's the key in building a program so that this is something that will sustain, over time, and the system will hopefully take over as far as the talent and the competition always being up to par.
Okay, that's a real good political response. Now, Coach, who is the kid I'm talking about that I asked you about?
Well, there's 2. I think you might be talking about Zeke Petrowski,
right.
And then we got young Avery. Avery, he's more of a guard, but these are 2 10th graders that played last year.
One's about 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, you're probably talking about the Zeke Petrowski, and right now he's gonna be playing varsity, this year, and he's just gonna join some good, some very good talent, some good leadership, and I think he can learn from that. And he's kind of proven that he can play on the JV level, and so it's time to give him some more competition and challenge his skills a lot more. And like you say, he does play baseball, and we encourage our guys to play as many sports as possible.
Coach Rick, we kind of partial to jump shooters.
Mm-hmm. Love those.
Yeah, bro. He just has no fear. I don't have to coach him. I can just watch him. And during the games, I'm gonna be talking about him because I like him. I like him. He better not hit 2 in a row because I'm gonna stand up, put my hands up from the desk. I'm gonna put my hands up too. I'm not even trying to be impartial. I'm gonna stand up and cheer for him. So, when I ask people about who the top 5 players are in the city, everybody has your kid on their list.
Yeah, I would put him on the list as well. You know, Blaise Wallace is you know, everyone asks, is he done yet? You know, it's like he's just one of those players that's been talented enough to play varsity basketball, you know, his entire high school you know, existence, and it's but it's paid off. You know, I think like I said, he's gotten better every year. And there's been seasons where he's been injured, and you know, it's been these things that have came out of nowhere. But he's overcame all of that. And yes, he is a senior this year. So this will be the last time, you know, people will say, who's that man on your team? You know, he's definitely a well, you know, just a well-rounded young man. And you know, we're excited for his senior year to be a great year for him.
He's drawing interest from schools, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And it, you know, there'll be more, you know. And so it's just, you know, playing basketball in this time where you got these breaks and college coaches are recruiting different, you know, these are the things that they've overcame, and he's going to continue to overcome that stuff.
Well, one thing with us doing the games and putting them out there, you know, anybody who has any inclination in wanting to see him play will be able to see him play. Him and the rest of the talented group that you have. The exposure that they will get from being on INSiightsROKU and INSiightsYouTube is unlimited in terms of the exposure they can get and what the Maclay boosters are doing to be able to provide this opportunity for your team.
Absolutely. We're excited about that. You know, being able to be you know, seen is the goal. And you know, we're every opportunity that presents itself for that, you know, we're excited for. And I know there's just, we don't know what the return on that will be, but I know it's going to be great.
Like I said, all you could do as a coach is put them in a position to win and provide them an opportunity for people to see them. And after that, they just have to make the most of those opportunities.
Yes, sir.
So we're really excited in terms of that partnership, and continuing is kind of the next step in the evolution between INSiights and Maclay and Gene Granger. You know, you had a vision as we've done some things to be able to expose those kids, and that's what it's all about, allowing them an opportunity. And as we push it out, we're almost 10,000 social media contacts, over half of them college are coaches and things, you know, to put them out that they can get a chance to see these kids play. All you have to do is click it on at no cost and see them play, or go back and sit down at your house and watch them play. So
yeah, it's always there, you know, and that's having that content there, and they can revisit it and share, and you know, the access is key.
Well, Coach, how is your point guard situation? What's that looking like for you this year?
Well, we're gonna have like Colin McAllister, returning senior point guard, has improved and gotten stronger, faster, you know, and that's natural. You know, it's going to come over time, and that another year, he's just another year better. And then some of the younger guys who, you know, are moving into that junior role, and some, you know, some backup players. We have a lot of versatility. I would say more so than we've had in the past with that point guard position. But we're gonna, you know, we're gonna have a very faster game. You know, we've had a 6'8" center, you know, the last 2 seasons, and you know, it kind of changes your style of play. You know, trying to feed in the ball and the pace of the game. You know, everyone in that we anticipate with this year's group will, you know, we want to run. You know, we want to really get out there and go.
Get your
What-
track shoes ready, huh?
Yeah, and defend. Defend, and I think that's we ended last season on a I would say a non-defensive note, and so that's been the emphasis of just changing what our focus. Our focus is as coaches and really making an emphasis for the players that we're gonna really guard, and players that are gonna play are gonna guard.
Well, Coach, are you in the? They change the district and so often, but are you in Florida High in the same district again?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, we added 2 more teams. So we took away a team and added 2. So Mariana and Rocky Bayou are now in the district as well, and so it's 6 teams now.
So the first 2 teams will get a bye come district tournament time.
Correct.
Okay. And that's where you're trying to finish in those top 2.
Correct.
Okay. Coach, one thing we do know is that the young men and the student athletes at Maclay tend to be academically eligible. Talk a little bit about Maclay and the academic component there.
Well, I mean, the expectation is just, it's always going to be high. And, I think that's the history of, just the curriculum and also the delivery, from the teachers to just the support. But the expectation is always high. And so we don't have, that a component where we're worried about the grades per se, but we still have a high expectation where grades are still valued, and no one is just overlooked in a sense of we expect everyone to make great grades. There's still people that work hard at it, and that's the expectation. Just work at what you're doing.
Well, tell us about your schedule, Coach.
Well, we have a great schedule. I think we're going to be making that visible, I think, very soon. But we start off with Potter's House, at home, and that's just one challenge that I think we want to make sure that we're presenting challenges to our guys and putting ourselves in very, very challenging games so that we can prepare to make a district championship and make a win in the district championship, and then going to regionals and progressing through. But in order to do that, it's going to be tough games every single time. So, we want to really start out, focusing on what is that competition going to look like, and put ourselves in that position as often as we can throughout the season.
Well, Potter's House is a heck of an opening game. That's, I mean, you just step right out there without even being in the skillet. You just put your hand right in the fire.
Well, there's some other, we coincidentally, the head coach at Potter's House is from Tallahassee, and so he reached out to me. So it's also a game for him to be to come back and coach a game in front of his family and his network here. And, so for us to be a part of that, and knowing the head coach, there's a benefit there that we got the opportunity to play them. But, we think it's good. Our guys are up for challenges. And I think that's what my duty is, to bring them competitive opportunities and positive exposure. And I think this game will bring both of those things.
Well, Coach, don't you do you have a tournament or in Daytona or something?
Yeah, we'll go there after Christmas. That'll be a post holiday event where we're going to Mainland High School.
Home events, Carter.
Yeah. And we've gone there. We've done it 2 years. The first year it's tough. We play some tough teams, and last year we won every game. So, it's each year you get a chance to play teams that you haven't played and that you won't play in your area. So that's the goal during those holiday and off periods.
And you're also playing the Capital City Classic over at TCC, Jim.
Yes, and looking forward to that. Expect to play very, very tough games in short amount of time, so that we can get a habit of playing back to back, or every other day, or doing what we need to do to advance. It's all about that postseason, what we got to do when that opportunity comes.
Because speaking of TCC, next week we have their head coach, Coach Rick Cabrera. He'll be with us next week and talk a little bit about TCC. And I'm going to ask him if he's recruiting locally. There's some guys in the area he needs to have his eye on.
Well, I think we have 4 seniors that are looking for an opportunity to play at the next level. We have some other seniors there. They're contributors on the football field, and they have aspirations of playing, multiple levels in different sports. But I know, as far as basketball, we have some guys that can step right in and play a year from now and 2 years from now, as I'm preparing them to go into their senior year of high school. Blaise Wallace is on many boards of coaches, and I think it's a matter of where things fall with just the NCAA shifting players from school to school, and it's hard for these high school guys to get that exposure. But you keep playing and you keep working at it, and when that time comes, you're ready, to be physically ready, to be mentally ready, and in the meantime, covering your academics and making sure things are in order there. So when your time, if an opportunity does come, and you're going through that clearinghouse process, and you're doing things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Rick?
Mm-hmm. For Maclay to be successful, Coach, what has to happen?
Like any program, a lot of things got to align. I think for that to happen, as far as talent and timing, and just position. I mean, we as a school, we're not a big school, but we're in position in a district that we're playing schools that are a little bit larger than we are. But we compete. A lot of things have to happen to win. And as a coach, you got to have a lot of different. One, the competition, the one, the talent, the one, the knowledge, to coach the boys. I mean, there's just a lot of things, and in some seasons everything aligns perfectly, and but every year we're aiming for that goal. One, you got to win districts, and then you got to work your way through, each round after that, in which I've been fortunate enough to do that. But so does 500 other high schools coaches, and so does every other high school. They want that same thing. So you can't, it's not going to be given to you.
Do you have the team to do that?
This year, I believe I do. Like I said, we have experienced players, also skilled, and but everyone has to, perform every single night, and that's just the challenge is, can we perform every night? I know on any given night, my guys I will put them up against anybody. Now can we do that every night, every single night, whether it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 7 p.m., or 1 p.m., no matter what time of day, against any competition, that's the goal throughout the season, is just to continue to play at a consistent level. And by the end of the season, that's the goal. We're going to hit those bumps early.
You said something there, Coach, when you talked about the time of day that you play, or to be able to play at different times, because the state tournament is at different times. you can play any time of day, and you need to have your team ready to go from past experiences that they could draw on to play at a time rather than 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. So you scheduling tournaments that you're playing in the middle of the day is pretty. That's thinking and planning ahead, Coach.
Yeah, we have a few, 1 o'clock games. We have a few 4 o'clock games. We have, of course, our evening games. But we play throughout the day. We try to get those Saturdays and just throughout the season to feel that what it's like to wake up and go right into playing. Versus a school day playing at night, and also traveling. Being able to get off that from sitting, going into a situation where it might be a little hostile, and then performing and it being like a regular routine. And that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take to travel and go win away in the third round or the second round. And it's not going to be, like I said, no one's giving it to you. You really, your team has to perform, and coaches got to be ready, and everyone has to really step in when it's time to make that shot.
And Coach, in closing, tell us something about your team that you want people to know.
Well, I want everyone to know that our talent, a reflection of our team is that we have a real caring group of guys. It's like one of our parents went home after open gym and walked into her house, and the whole team was there. And it's like when your team is doing things like that on their own, and they, you start to see, like, not that they don't have their friends, but for the whole team to be, continuing their relationship, just not on the court, but off the court. We just got a caring group of guys, and it's like family, and everyone helps each other, and it's not just, hey, let's pass you through in the hallway and see you during the season. The whole team, the whole program, the parents, it's a big family, and we like to stand on that and really appreciate that about our program.
Coach, that's admirable, because it doesn't happen that way all the time.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure your parents, they were like, I got to feed all these jokers.
Hey, our parents, they get out the camera and start taking pictures. It's a fun thing, and I think everybody appreciates time, because it's so short, and all of our parents appreciate it. And I think they're the players, it trickles down to, our students, that, this is not forever. This opportunity in playing, and opportunity to have these friendships, and opportunity to grow these friendships, this is the time to do that, because, it is finite, and that, I think everyone, we try to instill that you want to maximize your time. You got to maximize that.
Coach, we appreciate that, and as you see, we're trying to let them know they're invited for Maclay's boys basketball, to be a part of it. They don't have long. They don't have long.
Well, the season, it doesn't wait. The time it doesn't stop. The season's coming regardless.
See, you're absolutely right, Coach, and I'm excited about you and your program and all of that. We're getting ready over here about your program, so that people will know what's going on and what you're doing, and being able to highlight them so that everybody could see them. We want everybody to see them and support them.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and we look forward to providing a good experience for the audience, and making sure we put out a good product on that court.
Coach, I am not concerned about that. I know that's going to take place. I know that's going to happen. I've known you too long, and I've seen those kids play. I already got a couple favorites. I'm waiting to see how they matriculate into the varsity system.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like a shooter, boy. You can have some problem, but if you can put that thing in the hole, there's got to be a spot for you on the team somewhere.
Yeah, and they're starting to like to defend, so that's the beauty. You know, they're starting to appreciate that other side too. It's not just about scoring. You know, they're liking to get it gets physical sometimes in that open gym.
Well, see, Coach, you coaching it. I'm just spectating. And we already know they're physical. Didn't you have knee surgery last year when they ran over you?
Yeah. You know, that's the end of the season on crutches, and you know, but you know, things are, you know, meant to be, and you know, I'm well, and I went to the first football game of the season this year from Maclay, and the same person who ran me over was right there, and we hugged, and you know, it was just one of those things, but it was, you know, we want physical, you know, and
Coach,
you know, I'm gonna just stay out the way, you know.
You should have took him like this and body slammed him. No, I wouldn't have been no hard. They'd have been like, Coach, you got his neck right here. All that time I'd have been on them crutches. Anybody pop his neck? No, Jack. I bet you let them use those cones this year and chairs. You won't.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay behind. I'm gonna stay behind everyone.
Coach, we appreciate you. You can stay on the rest of the show if you like, but as we do this,
well, thank you, Coach.
You know, if
thank
you have
you.
something
Rick,
you need to do.
Always
great to see you.
My partner. Yes, indeed, man. I'll be up there to see you this year, man.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach.
Being inducted into one school's Hall of Fame in itself is an achievement. To be inducted into 3? Well, that's legendary. On today's Remembering the Legends, we shine the spotlight on the man known as the Godfather. Today, we honor former SWAC football coach and athletic director, Marino the Godfather Kasem. Born in Memphis, Tennessee in 1934, Kasem attended college and played football at Xavier in Louisiana. After graduating, he began his career as football coach. He spent one season as Alabama State's head coach before taking over at Alcorn State. In 22 seasons as head coach with the Braves, including 20 as the school's athletic director, the Godfather earned the reputation as an innovative and hard-nosed coach. He was named SWAC Coach of the Year 7 times, was named Black Coach of the Year another 7 times, and was head coach when the Braves finished the season ranked number 1 in all of 1AA in 1984, the first for an HBCU program. Off the field, Kasem was responsible for the school's athletic complex and the planning and design of the football stadium. And as AD, when the Braves basketball team earned the conference's first NIT victory, he gets credit for that as well. He moved to Southern as director of athletics in 1986 and spent 13 years with the Jaguars, 3 as head football coach, and led the resurgence of the athletic powerhouse in the conference. Southern captured 7 SWAC Commissioner Cups, 6 men's and 9 women's SWAC All Sports trophies before Kasem retired in 1999. Honored for his successes on and off the field, Kasem is a member of the SWAC Hall of Fame, Alcorn State Hall of Fame, Southern Athletics Hall of Fame, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, Black College Football Hall of Fame, ESPN's Top 100 Greatest of All Time Football Coaches, and earlier this year was inducted into the Xavier Athletic Hall of Fame. Though he died in 2020 at the age of 85, he will always be remembered, especially in the SWAC. Alcorn Stadium bears his name. He put one SWAC school on the map and resurrected another. That is why he is a legend.
Claflin.
That Panther is so nice.
Yeah, Coach,
Oh.
you gave us some information. You know, you gave us some new knowledge there.
For me, Coach, with fam going into the SWAC, I grew up in the CIAA, being from DC and the DMV. So coming down to fam, it was the MEAC while I was in school. Learning about with fam going to this and BCU going to the SWAC, it allowed me to learn more about the SWAC conference and the history there. And it's some history in the SWAC as well. And I love just diving into the schools and learning about, because I didn't know how great the Godfather was in the SWAC circles. I mean, he is a legend in definitely in the SWAC, and the rest of football knows him as well. So it's given me an opportunity to learn, and I hope that the audience learns as well.
Well, those of us who were from the South, we knew about the SWAC before we knew about the MEAC. Those were the schools that we always wanted to go back to the SWAC, because those were the schools we grew up playing: Grambling, Southern, Texas Southern, Alabama State. I mean, those were our rivals growing up. So when we went to the SWAC, went to the MEAC, there was always a disconcerting lack of interest that we didn't really want to go to the MEAC. I remember we were playing Hampton. They said, "Oh, that's going to be our rival game." I said, "Why?" Because Joe Taylor was at Hampton. I said, "Don't nobody care about that." The only team in the MEAC that we kind of had an interest against was Howard. Outside of Cookman, but Howard a little bit. But the rest of them, you go to Delaware State, Morgan State, even Howard. There were always more FAMU people in attendance that lived in that part of the country than there were their own supporters.
Mm-hmm.
When we played the SWAC, when they rolled into Tallahassee, man, they fill up half a stadium, because the SWAC rolls like that.
Mm-hmm.
And those rivalries and the band rivalries, all of that was a part of the SWAC. So that thing was critical for us, and so it was always something going with somebody in the SWAC. There was always something that happened. So a lot of them we were aware of them. We didn't know the details that you've given us, but it's really been interesting to hear that. And we had Sports Diva. She said, "Yes, Rick, we are learning something new, remembering the legends." So that's one of those rare compliments from Sports.
I know, right? I know. I didn't know how to. I don't know how to take that coming from the Diva. I appreciate the Diva from my heart. I really do. Wondering where's the knife behind that.
Yeah. I said, even the Diva. I said, wow, she gave him something interesting there. We had you pick 'em, and it was kind of interesting. You have Todd he had a great week, but he kind of did something with KC. There was a difference in 3 almost in terms of their picks, and it allowed him to take a 1 point lead
Mm.
between Todd and Kevin. He's up by 1 point.
Wow.
He had a pretty good week. He picked 8 correct, and Kevin only had 5. You had 7, so you kind of gained some ground. In fact, you and I both had 7, so we kind of stayed even. Florida Hot Boy had 7, but like they said, there were a lot of upsets this past week.
I know that's right. I mean, I was just like, I was like Todd on this, like, what in the world is going on in this NFL? NFL was crazy this week.
Yeah, it really
It
was.
was crazy.
It really was.
That's why they play the games.
Well, you're exactly right about that. So, and somebody else came out the woodwork about Deshaun. But see, that's why Deshaun didn't want to settle out of court. Because he said once you start paying them, everybody's going to figure that they need to get paid. So,
Right.
and you see the NFL wasn't really all that concerned. But my concern is that if those lawyers, the previous lawyers didn't take the case, they generally have passed on cases that they didn't think they had a chance to win. And there were times they had some questions about some of the details around what happened. And see right there's the total. Lamp Daddy, 59 and 34. One ahead of Kevin now, so he's happy that he gets acknowledged, because he tries to tell us that we need to acknowledge his successes a little bit more. Okay, Todd. Okay.
Okay.
You still you close down 1 with Kevin, but you're still 4 behind the leader, and I'm still 7 behind the leader. But my pick for the Browns, with that poor record that I thought they might have, I might be on the money. I might be closer to identifying what my team actually doing than anybody else. So you say it's a long season still, so we still got a ways to go.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, just gotta wait your time, and then just start reeling them in. Coach. That's it.
That's
it. And I know our boy Corey's happy. I mean, break up the JETS Jets. Holy smokes. CeeLo, way to go, Jets.
Man, the Jets are really shot, and the Eagles.
Oh man, I was so happy on Sunday night. Should have seen. Oh boy, I was like, fly Eagles, fly. EAGLES, go Eagles.
See, and see, I'm kind of glad. I'm not anti-Dallas, but I'm glad Philadelphia won, because I was hearing all this talk about they didn't need Zach and da. I said, boy, y'all fell out of tree now. You need him. Don't think you don't. Congratulations to my Cleveland Guardians. They did a heck of a job. Played, I saw them early, and I was like, they're a scrappy little group. Went to Tampa and saw. So for them to get 1 game away from advancing, and the youngest team in Major League, they said, in fact, some AAA teams were older than the Guardians are.
Wow.
So they said they're really 2 years ahead of where they thought they would be. They had like 12 or 15, somewhere in that number, kids who made the roster, made their first appearance in the major leagues. And that's a tremendous number for the success they had. So hats off. We got blitzed by the evil empire, but at least we had something to cheer for. So we're going to start following Cleveland again, the Cavs. First basket of the season. Evan Mobley hit a 3-pointer tonight. So if he starts knocking down threes, it's going to be all over with.
Oh, Lord.
It's going to be all over with. So I don't know
that
why
season.
Yeah.
It's
that hoop season. Anything you want to say in closing tonight?
First of all, thoughts, prayers to you and the family. First and foremost,
Thank you.
anything that I can do, even if it's just an ear, please let me know.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I got one thing to say. How about them Cowboys? That's all. That's all I got. That's all I got.
and that's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Your attention, please. Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiigHTS.
Insights is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent the independent.
Your attention, please. Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiigHTS.
Insights is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representation.
I appreciate you, my brother.
All right, Coach.
It's hoop time. Boy, it's that time of the year. I love this time of the year. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being with us. Insights on Roku, Insights on YouTube. Mick and Rick, Insights everywhere. It's about the kids. Straight, no chaser.
Until next week.
Until next week.